G'day YouTube. I've been a bit slow on the videos lately, but I thought I'd come inside and do a video on the fridge and the heli tank next to it. It's been quite some time since I've done any filming in here. Last week I finally got around to stripping everything out of both the fridge and the tank and reorganising everything, tidying everything up, a few repots, and yeah, just gave everything a good clean up and hopefully get them looking good again. And I'll spin you around. Just chuck the door open. So here it is, all tidied up. Everyone's been laughing at this who's seen photos, but yes, I have coriander or cilantro if you're in the States growing in the fridge. It's still too warm outside to grow it here in Sydney. And I thought it was a good example to show how much light these Nepenthes are getting. Everyone says, I'll grow them in a shaded position, various things like that. I've got coriander growing perfectly happy with a full sun plant. It definitely needs a water. It's taking up a lot more water than the Nepenthes. But yeah, that should give you an idea of how bright it is in here. Next to that, got this Hamada flower. It's a male. Haven't had any luck finding a female, but I've been harvesting pollen. I'll store that and hopefully find something fun to make with it. And that plant is actually all the way down there. So it's almost completely too big for the fridge, but I'm going to harvest the pollen, let it settle back in, and I'll decide what to do after that. I've got a few little seedlings in here. This is a beautiful little Mupaluensis cross lolii, which has got to be one of the slowest plants I've ever grown. This thing even puts lolii to shame with how slow it moves, but beautiful plant nonetheless. It got a repot, tidy up, so hopefully once it settles in, it might give me a bit more growth. It was down the bottom on the cooler shelf, and little did I notice that the Raja had just thrown a leaf over the top of it, and it was getting basically no light. So maybe up here, a little bit warmer, more access to light, it might do a bit better. We'll see how it goes. This is my gorgeous Velocicross Hamada that's really starting to pick up. This thing did take a while to settle in, but you can see now it's got 4 active pitches, 5th one coming. This front one's looking like it's fading a little bit. I did feed this up with some liquid fertilizers in the pitches, so I wouldn't be surprised if they fade away. Hamada definitely doesn't appreciate the liquids in the pitches. It fades them very, very fast. But that has lasted longer than I would have expected from a Hamada. Behind that's a cute little flava. Closer. It's just starting. That was getting buried before. The Pinguicula's, there's 2 there and there. This one's got a nice picture, but they were just drying out so fast before, so I've got them into bigger pots, fresh media, and this one in particular was not looking overly happy, so hopefully they settle in. And hiding in the back, my Tambusi Hamata, which isn't all that happy. It is seeming to be slowly getting better. Not actually sure what happened there. The growth tip aborted. It lost a lot of the green out of the leaves. Sorry. So I've got it there shaded by the mollusk, and hopefully I can get it to recover for me. Speaking of the mollusk, let's see if I can get this. Oh. Spin this around so you can get a better look at it. It's just a gorgeous peristome on this plant. And this thing's really been kicking along lately. It's putting on some good size. See the new leaf there, new picture coming. So hopefully it starts putting on a good display in the next while. Then got a Lamut cross Tambabusi Hamada in the back there. Again, I tried to get a little bit of shade from the moles. They don't love a ton of light, but this thing is just pumping. See, covered in little pictures, putting on some good size. New picture coming there. I got another, that's a flava cutting from my old big plant that I lost. It's definitely been struggling again, but hopefully it kicks into gear soon. And in front of that, Densiflora. There's a mate sent it to me struggling, and all I could save from it was the tip cutting. So it's gone into this skinny little growth, but seems healthy enough. Might give it a repot. I think it's been in that pot media for quite some time now. It hasn't really put on any size, so I might get that out and have a better look at it. Coming down a shelf, let's drag a chair over. I think this might be one of my favourite sections of all my grow areas. This beautiful Edwardsiana here. This picture just popped the other week. Just have a look at the teeth on that. That is absolutely stunning. An older picture next to it there. Bit of lighting. You can see I've got a couple of little pots of moss going here. This species seems to go red sometimes for me, so I'm trying to figure out what causes it to go red and why most of the time it's green for me. So it'll be interesting to see if that works out. I can get some nice red colorations out of it. Behind that, some nice lowly eyes. Amazing little, look at the hairs under that lid. This one's a nice squatter shape. It's definitely a bit different to my other ones. The sphagnum caught in the hairs there. But these are just, it's like toothbrush bristles almost. And that's that plant there. This smaller, the TC one. They're coming along. Really nice dark colour on this one. See if I can get this sort of picture out. This one's just getting the lid hairs. No, it's not a bit of exudate, but again, just gorgeous little pictures. Some more lowly here. Everything's already starting to get tangled. Have a look at that. That is just so spectacular. You got the exudate, the bristles under this lid. Just such a stunning plant. I feel like that, my larger one at the back here, hasn't put on any, I was going to say hasn't put on any real size, but there's definitely a little bit of growth difference in the leaves. This thing was pumping them along for a while. Behind that is one of my Aristolochoites. Picture coming now is saying I don't think there's any pictures on it. It was completely buried in moss, so I dug it out, gave it a fresh repot, and I put it up the back there to settle in. Over here's the Singulanas. You got a Barang. Sorry, I've gone a bit blank on location of this. This is the BE plant. It's the female. It's looking a bit messy post repot, but it's a gorgeous plant. And then this one is Jambi Province. Not great lighting back there, but they're happy enough. And you can see another container of moss starting there. And then down here you can see the hamada, and this thing again needs a repot. It's a Lamut one, and again it's been in this pot for a long time. I'm contemplating cutting it, but I have never seen a basil from this plant, so I'm a little bit hesitant, but at the same time it's getting way too big for the fridge, so I might have to risk it. I can definitely get a few cuttings out of it, and all I need is one to strike to keep the clone alive, but hopefully I can get this base to throw out some basils once I do. You can see here I've repotted my Rajas and Diatus into some nice big wide pots. Refreshed the media, fresh sphagnum moss, which should hopefully start settling in soon. You can see it's starting to get a few bits of growth. Look at the shape of this. It's just such a stunning species. And the bigger one back there. So I thought I'd give these a bit more space and not have quite as much stuff growing around them. There's the Diatus. It just popped the other day. This is such an underrated species. Just look at the teeth on that. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, up the back there, see if I can zoom through there. You can see some more of that moss, and that's definitely getting a bit of red coloration to it. It looks a bit messy at the moment, but it was only potted up last week, so I'm sure it'll settle in. You can see there, I've actually put 2 new fans in on this level, just trying to get plenty of airflow. Got a fan back there, and behind the coriander there's actually another fan hiding in there as well. There's plenty of airflow in this fridge. The humidifier, I've ducted into all 3 levels. You can see I've just put some tape on the end just to control the flow of it. And it's mostly so that there's enough humidity getting pumped up to the higher levels as well. So I'll pull you out of here. And we'll jump into the terrarium next to it, which also got a revamp. And it certainly looks like it probably use a bit of water. But I had these just sitting in seedling trays, similar to this, but mesh trays, so they drained through. And I was struggling to keep up the water, so I've actually put, if I can get underneath it, show you. So I've used this egg crate diffuser, clipped it all together, put it on top of some pots just to bring it up out of the water at the bottom. Then you've got a sheet of plastic on top of the diffuser, and that's just to stop the water draining away from the capillary matting that sits on top of that, and the weed matting as the top layer, just to try and control some of the algae growth and the bad mosses. You can see here everything's been tidied up. I didn't do much repotting here. I mostly just got rid of all the carpet moss and other various things. Some parts are already coming back to constant battle. But yeah, everything got a good tidy up. You got Pinguicula. I am terrible with the names here. Yeah, Folliculata. You got some hybrids in here. Colina's looking nice at the back there. Herbii. Some of these are in desperate need of a repot. Let's see if I can do this without breaking too much. You can see that is filling that pot up completely. Everything does look a bit beaten up. I was swapping out the light on this. I had the TS1000, which is a smaller section, and it was losing too much light by the time it got down to the edges of the tank. So I upgraded to the 2000 and get the full width of the tank, much more even lighting, which I'm really happy with. Pulchra, I think it is. Yes, Pulchella. Pulchra. Beautiful hairy species. And that's probably getting due for a repot. Give it a bigger pot, let it spread out a bit more. A few little miners in here. Everything was starting to look a bit beat up, so I think it was overdue for the tidy up. Pinguicula, some Newtons, another Colina, Heterodoxa. Yeah, everything's settling in. This Colina's trying to flower. I probably won't let that do. I tend to cut most of the flowers off in here. I haven't bothered breeding with them for a while. I don't do any temperature control in here. This is just as is. So you can see there at the moment it's about 26, 27 degrees. Might be a touch warmer now that the sun's coming out. And then you got my pings, which these were all in dire need of a repot and tidy up, so they got cleaned up the other day as well. Cyclosector, emergent. This is the problem. Pings do not have a great root system, so you've got to be very, very careful moving stuff around. I'll just try and get that back in there. Emergentia cross Glycopsicola, sorry. I've never said most of these names out loud, so bear with me if I don't get them right. Agenta cross Potosiensis. I think I'll just let you read the name tags. Now this is a beautiful Marinensis, Condoi, Sethos, Pinguicula down under. The Lorenas were really struggling. Actually, it had root rot. My own fault. I keep topping up this tray, just keep them in about a centimetre of water. Get lazy occasionally, and I was using a bit of tap water, which is fine short term for them, but long term, I think it was just starting to build up way too much nutrients in the potting mix. So I was kicking myself for that, and now definitely only reverse osmosis water going in here, and I'll pull them out and flush the pots out occasionally moving forward. Colours on this are just stunning. You can see that's the Lurania. I'm hoping that comes back. Moraensis, Varsiperba, Rectifolia, and some more smaller ones there. I'll probably have to pot them out pretty soon, but I thought I'd keep them bunched up in that single pot for the time being, and that allows them to stay in here and get a bit of growth on. Now hopefully I can get all these settled in again, and you'd see I knocked a leaf off when I was tidying it up, so I've done that on a few, and I've just stuck them in the media, see if I can get them to root. I'm loving the colours on this Cyclosector. And I've actually switched everything over to this stratum. It's a aquarium plant growing media, but seems to grow quite well, and I think personally also it just looks really good. I love that black colour against the beautiful colours of the pings. You can see a nice flower just starting to open there. I can get it to focus. Yeah, so I think that might cover it for us today. I'll get this up and I'll get back to work out in the greenhouse. So till next time, cheers.